Hey friends, sometimes does it feel like your desires and God's desires are not together, are not walking in step? I'm going to share with you today about a verse that I think that maybe you've heard before, and if you haven't, it's going to encourage your heart about how we can know the desires of God's heart for us. Aligning our desires with God's desires can often be a challenge in a world that's telling us, you just do you, and if it feels right to you, go for it. There's a verse that God really changed my life with when I was younger, but maybe not in the way that you'll think. The verse is Psalm 37, verse 4, and it says, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." Now that can sound like, man, if I'm just joyful in the Lord, if I just have joy about my Lord, He's going to give me what I want. He's going to help me to have what it is that's in my heart to have to do. What we often don't hear when that word is taught is the verse before it and after it. We can often read the verse like this: delight yourself in the Lord and He will give you the desires of your heart. What if it read, delight yourself in the Lord and He will give you the desires of your heart? In other words, He'll plant the new desires in your heart because you asked for His. Let's read the verse before and after this so we can get a context. Psalm 37 verse 3 says, "Trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and befriend faithfulness." In other words, walk well in the land and choose to be faithful like you would a friend. Then it says, delight yourself in the Lord and He will give you the desires of your heart. The verse immediately after it says, commit your way to the Lord. Trust in Him and He will act. And just for good measure, let's read the next two. It says, He will bring forth your righteousness as the light and justice as your noonday. And then here's the direction. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for Him. Fret not yourself over the one who prospers in his way, over the man who carries out evil devices. Refrain from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not yourself, it tends only to evil. For the evildoers shall be cut off, but those who wait for the Lord shall inherit the land. Now, do you see the direction there? We take one verse and we think, oh, see, if I just am joyful in the Lord, He'll give me what I want. But the entire context of that passage is actually about us following in the ways of the Lord, befriending our neighbors and the land as faithful, and those that are prospering, that are getting what they want, their desires, even though they're evil, we shouldn't let that discourage our hearts because they eventually will be cut off. And if we're faithful and commit our way to the Lord, we will inherit the land. We will inherit the things of God in our life that are supposed to be in our life. In other words, God's desires will become our desires. And isn't that really what we're looking for, friend? Really, what we're looking for is for our heart to change to be like His so that we can want what He wants. We can mourn for what He mourns. We can be joyful for what He's joyful. It's not about what I want to do and accomplish on the earth. It's about what He wants to do and accomplish through me for His glory. And then He gives you the desires of your heart. Hopefully that encouraged you today. If it did, make sure and like and subscribe so you don't miss out on the content. We have lots of videos like this that train us up in the way that we should go, in the love of God the Father, the light of Jesus Christ. As always, walk in faith, go in courage.